When I saw Ugochinyere raising shoulder with APC cabals in Rivers State recently, I called him and said, young man, do you know the caliber of people you are dealing with? These people can render you dormant cocoon in a seconds. He didn't listen to me. He began his battle for supremacy between Wike and Fubara in Rivers State. Just a few days ago, APC has turned their searchlight on him.
The issues of middle interlopers whose business is not because they love River State, but their business is pecuniary, their interest is pecuniary. And they paint the National Assembly on a very bad light. And I wonder why the National Assembly leadership had allowed these human beings who go about denting their image and reputation. I wonder why they have allowed them over this period. And we are here to say, as a people, as APC in Rivers State, we are here to say that any attempt to blackmail the judiciary in Nigeria for the purposes of cowing them to docility is completely rejected by the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. I watched all through last night and even today the news scroll on Arise Television, and you see where they are talking about looming crisis in Rivers State, and you see them talk about pro-Wike this and pro-Wike that, and you see them try to blackmail the judiciary. What is the reason for accusing the judiciary of, compromise? What is the reason for accusing the Federal High Court of compromise in a matter that is as clear as APC? APC had gone to court in June. APC River had gone to court in June to complain about a planned election, local government election, for the 5th, scheduled for the 5th of October, 2024. We had gone to court to say, no, the processes are not properly in the eyes of the law. You cannot shame us behind us. We're a political party, a strong one for that matter. And you want to take a decision concerning an election that we have been hammering that we must participate and all that. You don't involve us. And you want us to see the notice of meeting only via social media. And we said, no, that is not done. It's not done. And we went to court way back in June to say, look, court, we're not satisfied. The reason why we went to Federal High Court, unlike what the governor said out of ignorance, is the fact that the law, the INEC was involved. We sued INEC. We sued the police, Nigerian police. We sued the DSS. They are federal agencies, for crying out loud. You won't try their cases at the High Court. They can't. That's why we went to the Federal High Court. And the matter ran its course. Initially, the judge gave an interim order that said, look, don't do anything until we get to the root of this matter. That expired, and they went to the Court of Appeal to challenge the jurisdiction of the court, of Federal High Court. They said the Federal High Court has no powers to sit on the matter. The Court of Appeal was amazed. Okay, at the Court of Appeal said that the trial judge, had everything within his powers to look at the matter and take a decision. They came back, and it was you see what they call the legal gymnastic that took place. They came with a team, a tag team, star-studded team of lawyers, senior advocates of note in this country. You would have heard senior advocate Tawo. He's senior advocate over 20 years. What is 20 years? You see senior advocate Uche, okay? You see Femi Falana. You see this man from Rivers State. It's star-studded on their side. And we had star-studded lawyers too, on our senior advocates on our own side, led by J.B. Daoud. And the matter traveled at a point in this issue. The Booth Party, that I'm sure that some of you have not heard about, okay, were procured. The party was procured to come and join in the matter. And they said to the court that whatever decision the court will reach at will affect them, so they should be allowed to be joined. SDP also was procured to join in the matter, and they all came and made their submissions. The judge said, look, because of time, I will take all the motions together with the substantive matter. And all the parties, okay, represented by their lawyers, made brilliant submissions. And they just said, I will do a composite judgment. What that means is that I will look at all the issues that you have raised, and at the end of the day, I will give a judgment based on the substantive matter. That was what happened. I was in court. I have always been in court. I have. And so when they finished their presentation, the judge honorably announced to the House, to the court, that he will reserve his judgment and will reach out to the lawyers on a possible date for judgment. And that's what we saw. On the 3rd, precisely I think on the 3rd of October, the judge convened his court, and in that sitting gave a judgment, not a ruling, not an order. It was a judgment that he gave. He considered all the motions, considered all the issues, and held of note the fact that even the RISIEC was in error for planning an election in less than 90 days as provided for by the Constitution. And they faulted them, and many other issues, attendant to it. They did. And based on that, the court made orders. Say, INEC, do not release voters register to RISIEC because they are not properly. Don't release that to them. Police do not participate. DSS do not do what? Participate. And what has that done? It goes without saying that the court has nullified, annulled ab initio what was planned for October 5th. How can an election be said to hold without voters register, without all the necessary documents from INEC? Nigeria has moved. We are now using, what's the name of that thing now? Beaver's machine. Okay, so none of those got released to RISIEC. And then we saw the governor. We saw the governor in the wake of a day, very late at night, with red eyes, inside the RISIEC office, and was boasting. He chased away the police. He has chased away the police. That anybody that comes here, they should report to him, that he will know how to. That they don't want INEC documents register. They don't want the police. He was going to use his own police. We thought it was a joke, but it was a joke that was taken too far. On the 5th of October, we had what they call the charade, called local government election. And we were not part of it. And so now that the so-called election, so to speak, they claim to have held, should we now go back and sleep? That when we had a case, we approached the court. We didn't take the crude approach. It was not about the strong man's morality. We were civil. We approached the court. We say, court, please protect us. Look at this. Look at our challenges. And the court agreed with us. And yet they went ahead to hold the same election that the court said the only option left for them at the point in time was an appeal to upturn the judgment of the lower court. But that wasn't done. The governor sought self-help and decided to do what they called local government election and all that. So having gone ahead to do that, we would not rest on our oars. We will not stand akimbo to watch them take our common patrimony. Local governments belong to all of us. The state belongs to all of us. So we have equal stake, we have equal rights. And so we had to go to court. I want to state here that it is APC, Rivers State, that went to court. And they should leave out former Minister Wike. You know, when you have the penchant to blackmail, okay, a champion, you say all manner of things. In spite of the fact that all they are saying are defeatist. What is Wike's business in this matter? What? The APC went to court. I deposed to the affidavit on behalf of my party. And we said this was not properly. And because it was not properly, please do not give allocation to them. I did. Is Wike a member of APC? No. So what is his business? It's just a deliberate attempt to blackmail a man. They had been flaunting on radios and televisions and all of those, and paying bribes. Whether the system, the president will take out Wike from the cabinet. But how will you change a winning team? If there's any minister today who is projecting, promoting the renewed hope agenda in Nigeria, you must count in Wike. He is. He's not a member of my party, but he is projecting the ideological underpinning, the philosophical underpinning of my party, which is renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. And so, how would you think that because of sentiments, very primordial for that matter, very childish, very archaic, you begin to churn out shibboleths, begin to churn out Jews, you begin to churn out tribes against a man that is deeply rooted and that is the star boy of the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like him or hate him, we have said many times, like Wike or hate him, what you will not take away from him is the fact that he's an unparalleled achiever. He's a whiz kid. If you give him stone, he will turn it to water. Yes, that is him. He turned Rivers State here to a construction site. Thereafter, what has happened? Rivers State has taken the back seat, passenger side of it. That's what Rivers State. Retarding, the progress is retarding here. Because we have a clueless governor, we have a clueless administration, and instead of them to obey the laws, if you read what the Court of Appeal said, of note is the fact that the Court of Appeal upbraided him, the governor, and said to him, you are behaving like a civilian dictator, hiding under the cloak of immunity clause of 308. To disobey laws, judgments, you cherry pick which order to obey, which judgment to obey, and which one not to obey. And the Court of Appeal said, you have taken, this is a joke taken too far. I didn't say them. We're waiting for them at the Supreme Court when the whole matter will be resolved. I have said over and over again, and I want to say again, that the 27 assembly members didn't defect to the APC. I am the most qualified, the only credible source to speak on the matter. And I'm speaking. I'm chairman of the party. Whoever says, oh, they did, at what point did they defect? To who? They should have defected to me. They should have defected in their respective wards. But in all of this drama, for how many months today, nobody has been able to show that in Ward A, that House of Assembly member A registered with us, registered with the APC. Nobody has said so. You hear people flaunt, oh, because they were flaunting flags. Political gimmick. And it worked for them. So in the proper sense, the 27 assembly members didn't defect. I want to see this opportunity that we have today, and maybe if you like, you make it the focal point of this discussion, to plead with the National Assembly to rein in this amorphous group led by Ugochinyere. It's an amorphous group. It's not known to law. You should rein them in because they are tarnishing the reputation of the National Assembly. National Assembly is now being construed as bread and somebody goes to somewhere, gets a tin, and calls it, hides under the cloak of National Assembly. They cannot love us more than we love ourselves. They can't. I just addressed him. I said, you cannot be more holy or more Catholic than the Pope. You can't cry more than the bereaved. That is not all roses in Imo State in terms of security. If not for what the governor is doing in the state, Imo State would have turned to a slaughter ground where people are killed. Is he not concerned that there is an advisory from security forces that don't take a policeman to Imo State, don't drive a flashy car? Is he not bothered with such kind of negative things about his state? He's not bothered about the gully reading roads in his community, either to south where he represents. Their roads are gully reading. They are death traps. Thank God the other day I was watching television to see that the governor had gone to fix some part of the roads. He had never said a word concerning those negatives in the state. But what we see here is that he is the Commissioner for Information in Rivers State. He is the Commissioner and the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Rivers State. And I hear that they have added to him that he is also the national chairman of APP, the Wongo Party. One wonders how and when he became a superior court to be analyzing judgments of court and throwing away to the trash can, and comes behind to say, oh, Wike is bribing Judiciary. You reduce the Judiciary to nothingness. What an insult. In same communities, in same societies, you cannot say so of a judicial officer. If it is 10 years, it may reduce to 7 or 8 years. But it's not that it is the law is taken away because of emotions. The law does not work on emotions. Put before the court the facts and figures. Let everybody see the variables and the indices. And it's discussed. Not you go to, I have a man I respect so much, S.A.N. Femi Falana, is urging the court, or was urging the court, to move the matter from the Federal High Court, because Wike is there in Abuja, and bring it to Rivers State High Court. He didn't also tell the people that Siminalaye Fubara is in Rivers State. So how do we resolve it? How? And I thank God, and I like what the judge said. Just said, Federal High Court is one. Court of Appeal is one. Supreme Court is what? One. So any division at all works. Think of it. Why did we go to Abuja? The capital of, the headquarters of INEC, where is it? The headquarters of the police force, where is it? Abuja. The headquarters of DSS, where is it? Abuja. So, how I can't leave substance and start to chase shadows? So, let the National Assembly leadership rein in these characters that are intending to blackmail an arm of government, very respectable and reputable arm of government, and brushing judges of this country, hiding in the cloak of opposition lawmakers in the National Assembly. these people should immediately be suspended from the house. They had nothing. They had no value other than the nuisance value that they bring to the National Assembly. They should rein them in immediately, and so that they would desist from this their stock in trade, which, as far as we are concerned, is personal, is private, is in the interest to line their pockets, and not for the love of Rivers State.
Today's judgment, which has been appealed, is an attack on our constitutional governance and an attempt to undermine the principles of federation. Now, how did a judge arrive at delivering judgment, knowing fully well that the subject matters upon which he wants to base his judgment on are all subjects of appeals pending at the appeal court and the Supreme Court on the issue of the legitimacy of those pro-Wike sacked lawmakers who decamped at a time there was no division in their party PDP into APC, and their seat automatically by virtue of the constitution became vacant. All of a sudden, the judge was fully aware that the matter is still in Supreme Appeal Court and still in Supreme Court, and his attention was drawn to them. But he rushed to deliver a judgment to seize the sovereign allocation of the people of Rivers State based on a matter that is still being challenged. And not only that, there was petitions and manifest evidence that was brought before her of bias, but she still continued. So what was she rushing? Why was she rushing to hear the matter in one day, reserve judgment, and then the next morning she has delivered a judgment to achieve what? Just to throw Rivers, or attempt to throw Rivers into a state of anarchy. So this judgment is unenforceable. It will not stand. It has already been appealed. And let me make this very clear to Wike and his group. There will be no way forward on this matter until all the subject matters pertaining to the legitimacy of those former lawmakers whose seat has become vacant by virtue of their decampment is resolved by the Supreme Court. And I want to urge the governor of Rivers State, continue to show the maturity you are showing. Present your 2025 budget before the House of Assembly as properly constituted by Ugochinyere. Until such a time, the Supreme Court makes a final determination on the legality or legitimacy of this issue of decampment. No court have decided expressly on it. So there is even order still existing that recognizes the vote and proceeding of the former Speaker Edisinehi, upon which Ugochinyere is Speaker and upon which those seats were declared vacant. That order have not been discharged. So they have legitimacy to continue to do what they are doing. But I will advise the president. The problems of 1960 and 1980 started like this. Keeping quiet by Shagari and all these other people then. When those working for the federal government were busy dishing out orders, using security agencies, rigging elections, writing results, confronting other arms of government in the state just as a way of showing their support to Shagari. At the end of the day, democracy collapsed because this comes with anarchy, and we don't want that to happen. The whole country is in total disarray as I speak to you now. Economic hardship, uncertainties, left, right, and center. And then one man is playing, and his group using our federal high court to show that maybe at the end, when they are done, Nigeria should completely lose faith in the judicial system. And I want the CJN to stop this whole thing happening at the federal high court. So today's judgment was an attempt to undermine constitutional governance. Unacceptable, unenforceable. The opposition does not accept it. It has been appealed, so nothing will happen going forward. But having said that, the higher courts have an obligation to discharge this order, which if not, other states where there is dispute between governors and some godfathers will rush to court and obtain order to seize allocation of a state. The federal government has no constitutional power to seize the allocation of another arm of government, the state government. These are constitutional. These revenues are federation revenue shared at the federation meeting, where the federal government takes their own share and the state takes their own share automatically. You cannot stop it. It will be like an overthrow and an invitation to anarchy. So it's unacceptable. It's a judgment that wants to lay the foundation for anarchy and disorder. So it's completely unacceptable. And I will urge the federal government to please call their appointees to order. This is how it happened in 60s and 80s. They are not working for it. They are fighting for their own political relevance in a state they have lost because of their greed. Don't let them drag you down. Because when this whole thing will explode, Nigerians will not stand by your side. Because everybody is watching what is happening with our security agencies, with our judiciary, because of one man. What is he looking for? If you go by the judgment of the Supreme Court delivered by Justice Onogeden, in a situation where those seats has automatically become vacant, that was Joshua Daire and Pialong. Those lawmakers decamped, and their seat automatically became vacant. And few members of the House of Assembly that was left then continued to preside, continued to conduct the affairs of the Assembly. The Supreme Court said they were right until such a time by-election is conducted. So Jumbo still remains Speaker, and the House that he's piloting is still legitimate because there is vacancy in the seat of the 27th. And if the INEC conducts the by-election, then the House will have a full quorum. But the Supreme Court said they can continue to carry on the business of the legislator, like budget passing and so on and so forth, until such a time that by-election is held. So Governor Fubara is going to present the 2025 budget before the Okejumbo-led House leadership, and nothing can change that. And let us get this clear. We're not going to destroy our constitutional democracy and judiciary because of one man, desperate ambition to seize institutions of governance to himself for economic reasons. Because of him, the Federal High Court ruled that decampment is a pre-election matter. Because of him, the court that started issuing order to stop conduct of election. Another Federal High Court in Kano have even escalated further, learning from what the Federal High Court did in Abuja. And now suddenly, you want to use the Federal High Court to seize the sovereign constitutional allocation of another arm of government, another tier of government, the state. Federation allocation is not owned by federal government. Federal government is a party to sharing of that federation revenue. So it is statutorily shared to the state. It is a sovereign fund of the state when it gets to the state. If the governor is not doing the right thing in the discharge or usage of that money, there is a state House of Assembly that should call him to order. If you have the number and the legitimacy, you can attempt impeachment. But because you don't have the legitimacy, now you are trying to legislate using the court to now use the federal to seize the allocation of the state government. That has never happened in any constitutional democracy. There's even no provision for that. That was one of the reasons when federal government under President Obasanjo seized the allocation of Lagos State government, the local government fund. The Supreme Court made it very clear. And that was how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then governor of Lagos State, was able to retrieve the money that was seized by the federal government. So why are we trying to change our constitutional governance, change our laws because, we can't get over the fact that he cannot manipulate or continue to manipulate governance in River State? He should live with that fact. But all eyes are on the Federal High Court. It's all these things you are doing. The Federal High Court. The whole country is watching you. On this reverse matter, the Federal High Court might rise or collapse. And the NJC should not keep quiet and be allowing them to be doing what they are doing. Over 30-something expert applications. Cases filed in next minute, expert in favor of Pro-Wike. Are we stupid? Are we fools? We're not fools. Judgment is not about dishing out of judgment. It is the perception. It is the belief that justice has been done. Where is the justice in almost over 20-something applications that have been granted? Even the ones that their judicial in state high court are brought to federal high court. Even when judges in federal high court Port Harcourt are sitting, they will say, they are not going to give Wike group what they want. They will transfer the cases to other judges. But that petition have been written against judges who have shown manifest bias. And the CJ allowed them to continue. That is how Justice Abdulmalik Judge continued, rushed it. Even the right of reply by those before her court, she shut them out and just arrived and then delivered judgment, seized allocation. That is going to be practically impossible. Now the government has appealed this judgment, and we're very confident that higher courts would discharge this order, which is unknown to our constitutional governance, which is a recipe for anarchy. And I'm calling on Rivers people to rise. You can see now that this is not about Fubara. It's about one man's hatred for you people. He wants the state to be grounded. The last time their supporters, the Pro-Wike group, they are burning and bombing your local government headquarters, shooting at people, carrying bombs to rallies. So you can see this is madness.
The APC chairman, the APC national chairman, has spoken. Ugochinyere, I warned you, but you didn't listen. These men are not in your scheme of things. This man. Now they are turning their searchlights on Ugochinyere. And trust me, you won't be finding it easy. Yes, you won't be finding it easy. But then you have to stand firm. If you are close to him, tell him that I said he should heed to what I told him on phone. You understand?